my name is Amanda Hampton, and this is my presentation about Arab American culture. I will be providing information about origins, some cultural characteristics, linguistic characteristics, as well as classroom implications. I hope you enjoy. Arab immigration has had two major waves. The first was from 1875 till around 1920. The second from around 1940 to the present, with the First World War causing a drop in immigration from the Middle East. The first generation of immigrants that began arriving late in the 19th century were from the Ottoman Empire, which would today be the countries around Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Iraq, and Palestine. Most of these immigrants were Christians, which was part of their reason for wanting to immigrate, so that they could escape religious persecution. They also wanted to immigrate for economic opportunities that could help them build a better life. During this wave of immigration, the typical Arab immigrant was a single male that would have been considered illiterate and spoke little, if any, English. Upon arrival, they usually settled in major cities such as Los Angeles, New York, Boston, and Detroit. They worked selling items such as baked goods, works of embroidery, and religious items. One interesting point that I found while researching is that although these immigrants spoke the Arabic language, not all of them identified as Arabs. Because the Ottoman Empire was so powerful during the 19th century, when the immigrants were issued their passports and identification papers, they were identified as subjects of the Ottoman Empire instead of the region from which they were actually from, such as Syria, Lebanon, etc. Because of that, the actual immigration statistics from that time period may not be accurate. But in the 1920s, it is estimated that there were nearly 250,000 Arabs in the United States. When the second wave of immigration from the Middle East began, it was different from the first wave in that most of the immigrants that were in the first wave were Christians. However, a large amount, nearly 70%, of those immigrating in the second wave were Muslim. This group was primarily from the countries of Egypt, Iraq, Yemen, Jordan, Syria, and Palestine. The Arab immigrants this wave were bilingual and literate. They sought opportunities for education and white-collar jobs. It was still typical for them to settle in the major U.S. cities. This map indicates that still today, a large portion of the Arab population still resides in these major cities. As of 2019, there are an estimated 3.5 million Arabs living in the United States. Moving on to some Arab American cultural characteristics. Religion. This was one of the more surprising characteristics that I researched. Although most of the Arab population of the world is Muslim and practices Islam, about 63% of the Arab American population identifies as Christian in their religious beliefs. About 24% identify as Muslim and practice Islam. 13% have other or no religious affiliations. Arab American family life is the next characteristic I will discuss. The Arab American culture places a very high level of importance on loyalty in the family and holds it as a strong foundation. When considering the dynamics of the Arab American family, it is important to remember that variations will be found depending on the family's level of acculturalization, their religion, their socioeconomic status, and many other factors. In many Arab American families, the parents will have conventional roles. Their father will have the patriarchal role and take care of the family financially. Many Arab American mothers will stay at home and care for the children and for the home. However, recently there is an increase in the women working outside of the home. The children in the family do not typically leave home until they marry. For some families, one son may live at home even after getting married to take care of the parents. The elderly in the family are held in a high regard, and that is another important value for the culture. They are to be spoken to gently, politely, and they are to be consulted on all matters. Arab American foods. Along with family, food is another foundation in the Arab American culture. Some of the most common foods, oils, and spices that you may find in their homes are chickpeas, which they grind to make hummus, as well as using them in soups and salads. Olive oil is used in a variety of ways, from cooking all the way to skin and hair care. Dates are an absolute staple to Arab cuisine, especially during the holidays. Mixed nuts and seeds such as pumpkin seeds, watermelon seeds, and sunflower seeds are another staple. It's common to be offered these when you're a guest in their homes. They used nutmeg seasoning to season the meat that they cook. Cardamom seasoning is used in some of their beverages, and that is the seasoning that gives Arab and Turkish coffee the rich, unique flavor that it has. Some other common food staples are sesame oil, pita bread, olives, cinnamon, and rice and lentils. Moving on to some Arabic language linguistic characteristics. One characteristic that Arabic language has is that it is a phonetic language, which means that letters correspond to sounds. While there are many other languages that are phonetic as well, Arabic is unique in that there are not groups of letters that create unguessable sounds. If a person knows the letters, knows the sounds that they make, and knows the vowel markings, then they can sound out every word. Unlike in English, where many of the spellings of words do not correspond to letter sounds, such as in the word tough. A second characteristic of the Arabic language is that it is one of the few languages that has diglossia, which means that it has two types or varieties. The first variety is modern or standard Arabic. This variety is used in writing religious, business, and administrative documents. It's used in formal education and informal speech. The second variety is referred to as colloquial Arabic, which is their everyday speech. The children speak colloquial Arabic as their first language, whereas modern Arabic or standard Arabic is taught almost as a second language. Colloquial Arabic has various forms or dialects. The dialects show the variation of the language between countries and regions. These dialects can vary so greatly that people with different dialects cannot understand each other. Some of the common varying dialects are Iraqi, Moroccan, and Levantine. Another linguistic characteristic of the Arabic language is that it is a Semitic language and has a sharply different syntax than the English language. Arabic is written and read from right to left. The language has 4 sentence types, verbal and nominal, which are the 2 main types, and then functional and non-functional, as compared to English, which only has verbal sentences. Though there are sometimes variations, the typical Arabic verbal sentence structure is verb plus subject plus object. The components are mainly the same as in English. With possible variations, the typical nominal sentence structure is a topic plus a comment, with no verbs at all. The difference between verbal and nominal sentences is that verbal sentences typically relate to an event or an act, whereas a nominal sentence describes a person or a thing. Functional and non-functional sentences are rarely taught or used anymore in that language. Some classroom implications for the Arabic American culture are that educators should strive to counteract any Arab stereotyping that may occur by integrating Arab history and Arab culture into the curriculum and classroom activities. Educators should be aware that the Arab culture is sensitive to public criticism. So maybe if the teacher needs to address the student, maybe they may choose to do it in a private manner. Educators should also be aware that in some Arab families, they do not allow their children to participate in activities between males and females. So possibly before group work is going to be done in the classroom, they may get in contact with the families to see if there's going to be any cultural differences there. Also, educators may be aware that students may have feelings of insecurity or loneliness from the culture shock, depending on how long that they have been living here. I hope you enjoyed my presentation today on Arab American culture, and thank you for watching.